remind us what happened last week, other than Discord being Discord?
Mistakes were made. Failures happened. But we also succeeded in getting the poison planted.
And Jimmy got a date.
It was an abnormal amount of nat 1s and nat 20s. Ashi's rolls are busted. Jamie being Jamie, Katani being Katani.
None of that actually helps me remember what happened 2 weeks ago.
The kill team scouted out the barracks. We decided that the best way would be to plant the poison would be to magic our way through the walls, which we did. Successfully planted it. And then, under the guise of trying to get more information about where our next target was, Kieran tried to sneak into the administration section of the compound.
Okay, yeah, I'm remembering this now.
2 mixed results.
Mixed?
Yes.
Bad results.
Mixing can go badly.
Yes, all the results were mixed up levels of uh-oh. As I recall, other portions of the kill team were hanging around with Liz.
Yep.
And doing some crowd work. You met a pair of suspicious-looking characters, both of whom were Rakshasa, actually. One got a very bad headache from Estella and wandered off with Lycra in pursuit. And
is that what happened?
Uh-huh. And the other one got other vibes off of Estella and asked her out on a date. I don't think there was anything else. Unless I'm forgetting. Ashish also managed to infiltrate his way into the compound. As I recall, he harassed a person with a bow and then left without being detected.
Or altering the timeline.
There was definitely a request of don't kill them.
Yeah. So I think with all of that in mind, let's start with Lycra.
Oh no!
As I recall, you left your image with Liz's group.
Yep.
And invisibly followed this Rakshasa.
Correct.
Okay. Well, let's start with giving me a perception check and a stealth check to see if you can keep an eye on where this person goes.
Neutral on the stealth or advantage since invisible?
Advantage since invisible. Okay. So you follow this individual for several blocks. She seems to be doing the old, double back on yourself, take weird turns to make sure that she's not being followed, but she's not doing it very well. You think even if you were not as sneaky or perceptive as you currently are, that she would still not have been able to lose or spot you. And after following her for, we'll say, 10 blocks worth of distance, but she's probably only about 4 blocks away from where you started, you see her hail what looks like a cross between a horse-drawn carriage and a rickshaw. That is to say, it's basically a rickshaw, but with some sort of horse creature at the front of it.
What is a rickshaw?
A rickshaw is a two-wheeled
Usually
vehicle
hand-pulled.
that is usually drawn by a person.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So this seems to have some sort of sentient horse creature at the front of it because there's no humanoid controlling the horse. And she hops in and begins to instruct the creature on where to go.
Is there any way I can cling on to the butt of the rickshaw, not the creature?
And there is a little shelf on the back for, packages not large enough to be held in one's lap. You could hop up on that. You
So I'll
don't know how obvious it would be.
I'll attempt to time my jumping on with when the Rashka, I can't pronounce words apparently. When the
Shaka.
obviously not subtle spy steps onto the seat, so that way the disruption of the weight is as close to simultaneous as possible.
Okay. Let's see here. So dexterity check or acrobatics if you prefer. Trying to just I think this is another stealth check. Just flat because we're not going on site based on this.
Okay.
All right. Well, I won't even bother rolling.
Stories
Jesus.
by the dice.
Do you understand Infernal?
No, I do not. Is it related
Okay.
to Dwarfish or Elvish?
No. There are some words exchanged, and the vehicle begins moving. You have no idea where you're going.
I am going to just do the best I can to memorize turns.
Okay.
I've got a really good survival score. Can I do a survival roll to try to kind of do a mental map of the city?
What is survival based on?
Wisdom.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that. Okay. It is not too complicated a path, and I can't remember if you were on this before. So we'll say that you know where you're headed eventually. It becomes obvious that you are headed towards the academy.
We talked about the academy for sure.
Yeah, some people walked by there. I just can't remember who.
No, I believe Lycra was one of the people that walked by the academy because she was doing the locate creature.
Yes, that is correct.
So I recognize the neighborhood at least.
Yeah, so the vehicle pulls right up to the front gates. There is an exchange between the Rakshasa and the guards at the gate, and you are summarily let in.
Lycra will
and-
follow.
Yeah, you're still in the back. And you hear her saying what you can assume to be things like left here and right here, navigating around inside the academy. When you after a minute or two of this, you pull up in front of a nondescript building, 2 stories tall, and she will disembark. There seems to be an exchange of currency. and she begins to head inside.
Lycra will attempt to follow. I'm assuming since she's opening the door, she'll be closing the door for herself, right?
That is a reasonable assumption, yes.
Well, no, is she opening the door?
She is opening the door, yes.
Okay. So then, unless they've developed auto-closing doors, most likely she'll also close the door.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything that will automatically close the door. You do, I think, even just with your passive perception, would notice that she doesn't unlock the door.
And does there seem to be a hallway and stuff past the door when she's got it open?
Give me a perception check. From what you can see, there is what you would assume to be some sort of an office reception area. You do not notice any inhabitants in this area other than the person that you're following. So you can see a desk, but there isn't anybody currently sitting behind it. And the other couple chairs along the wall and whatnot that you can see are not occupied.
Is there a corner or a space that's visible from that open doorway that isn't, yeah. I'm not that good at stealth. Are there windows?
Yes, there are a total of 4 windows, 2 in the front, 1 on each side.
Like looking in on this specific room, though, or no?
Yes, correct. There are other windows as well, but those are the ones specifically in this room.
Okay, I will let them close the door then.
Okay. The door closes.
And I will hang
Probably
out by
hear
the window
footsteps
watching.
for a second or two. But... Okay. You will see them just walk to the back of the room, and there's a door there that is locked that they open and go through, and then close behind them.
There's definitely no one in that room, right?
Unless they're invisible, there is no one in that room.
Okay. Let me just double check Miss Lead really quickly.
For the purposes of this, I will say that your trip took you about 15 minutes, so you still have... Well, no, she was walking around for a while. So I'd say probably 10 minutes of walking around, 15 minutes of getting here, so 25 minutes have passed.
It just says I become invisible, and it does not say what breaks the invisibility with Miss Lead. Do we assume it's basic invisibility or greater invisibility?
Given the time length that spell is active for, and comparing it to invisibility versus greater invisibility, I would say it functions probably more like invisibility.
Because it says
Greater
attack or
invisibility.
cast a spell.
Because greater invisibility gives you that
Yes.
option to not worry about that.
Yeah,
Right.
but
So
it's
that's
the invisibility
attacks
ends
or
with-
cast a spell is invisibility. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
normal invisibility.
But can I open a door?
Not attacking or casting a spell.
Yeah, I would say that that
And
is
you can
not
open
attacking
a-
or casting a spell.
You can open a door with regular invisibility, I think.
Okay. I just don't want to set a strong precedent in case we end up regretting that.
No, yeah, even regular invisibility is just attacking or casting a spell.
Then Lycra will pop the door open and slip in.
Okay. You are now in what appears to be a reception room.
And I'll go straight back to the door she had to unlock. Do I hear anything?
Perception check.
Passive 22. Rolled to 29.
Okay, just some fading footsteps.
Okay. Is there any paperwork in the...
You know, with a 29, I'll give you, it sounds like these footsteps are on a staircase.
Okay. Is there any paperwork on the reception desk?
Nothing visible. You could have a rummage through the drawers if you'd like.
Absolutely.
Give me an investigate.
Holy shit.
You are rolling very well today. Okay. I will say that you uncover a certain amount of papers. A lot of it looks like mail, just based on the formatting. You see what you could interpret as an address without being able to read it.
Can we assume, just as a extension of logic, that Lycra would have at least been smart enough to get someone to show her what the general's name looks like in Infernal?
That feels like a stretch.
Okay.
I don't know
figured,
that we
Yeah.
were thinking that hard.
I don't think
in
that's-
retrospect, it makes sense, but you're absolutely right that I don't think we would have thought of that in advance.
Put it this
Yeah.
way: if you were shown someone's name in Thai,
If I
would
was,
you remember it?
I think I would have written it down if I was specifically looking for that person. But that's David, not Lycra. So
We're
I
also-
absolutely
yeah.
admit that that's not the same thing.
That's way too much retroactive.
Well, and David is paranoid and bad about names, so he writes shit down a lot. So yes, no, I absolutely believe she wouldn't have that name, even if she was shown what it was, how it looked before. You have a great point there.
Yeah, I was just looking up. It is a completely different script that doesn't share the same script with any of the languages you know. So yeah, I don't think there's any chance of
It's all good.
remembering that.
Um,
One interesting thing you do see, however, is a collection of empty 8x12, like paper-sized envelopes. And the envelope doesn't have anything on the outside except for one big word in red lettering across it.
and that's every single one of them are the exact same word?
Yes, there are, we'll say 16 of these total. They're empty, nothing inside of them. Blank envelopes except for one big red word printed across the front.
Okay. Lycra opens her eyes.
Okay.
Who does she see?
Yeesh.
I know that Estella's still in the middle of her flirting. I know that Liz is currently busy helping someone mend a chainmail.
Ashish is probably still in the compound. Liz is there. Kieran
What?
is not there.
Maybe
Estella's
gone by now.
Zolt might be there.
25 minutes. Yeah, you're probably still talking, I would say. But Moxie and Zol should both be there.
Okay. I got along well with Moxie. Wink, wink. Lycra will simply say Moxie's name once with a strong but not desperate tone.
Are you just trying to get her attention, or are you trying to get
Yes.
her to do something?
Try to get her to come over to talk. Moxie?
Moxie will walk up and seem interested.
And Lycra will, without touching her because she can't, attempt to get her to lean in close and then describe the writing on the outside of the envelope in hushed tones.
Okay.
That's again.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a role here that you both need to make. I'm just trying to decide.
I'm
what
going to
the-
guess raw intelligence for Lycra, but that's a guess.
It is possible to do stuff like that, but it is a process.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, yeah, Lycra, give me. I think
Or
actually
performance?
wisdom from Lycra, and intelligence from Moxie, and you both need like a 14.
What language is this?
Infernal, I'm
Infernal.
assuming.
Moxie knows it. Advantage?
Not disadvantage.
Very firm.
I-
You were looking for intelligence roll?
Yeah, intelligence from you,
This is
wisdom
gonna be great.
from Lycra.
And I can't argue performance,
Exactly what I
right?
needed.
No, this is, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, flat on my face.
Nothing. Not it's not working. You managed to communicate that there is a word, and it is 10 characters long.
Got an argument.
Okay.
We take the crit. We
Do
get
you-
the wrong word.
Do you have Moxie? Do you have a script of infernal language we can reference?
I don't think Moxie carries a dictionary.
I like the idea of taking the L and having the wrong word.
Yeah, I am generally in favor of us taking more L's.
Ty, please roll me. Wait, these are not English words.
It can be any word you want.
Cab drivers.
That's the word we came up with. Roll me cab drivers.
That's the word.
That's how you say cab drivers.
Maybe I'm explaining some of the symbology. Maybe dispatches? Is it a what do you call it? God damn it, words. Not a metaphor, not a simile.
David,
Similar
take the
word.
L.
Well, no, I'm just
Take
trying to
the
think.
L.
That does. I'll say dispatches does fit the criteria slightly.
Yeah, same concept, just different word. So, but the envelopes are empty, but they're being stored. Do you think the secretaries are
If it's dispatches and it's empty, it means somebody's already taken the dispatches out. There's not currently anything inbound or outbound.
do you think the secretaries are detail orientated enough to keep track of how many empty envelopes are in the desk?
I'd argue you can tell if an envelope's been used or not. Usually it's torn slightly or
I assumed that they were used envelopes. Yes.
Yeah, these you know that these have been used. Yes.
So I'm asking Moxie whether in her experience, if they think they would keep excess used envelopes or not, and whether they'd keep track of how many used envelopes they had.
So I, as Ty, am going to say, I have an envelope in this truck that I've used about 150 times, and it's almost in pristine condition.
I, as David, have envelopes at work that we use for the cash drops that are fucked.
Anyways.
So I mean, you bring a piece of paper in, it's going to go to someplace, you slip it in that pouch. At a later point, the secretary, whoever grabs it, takes them out and puts them where they need to go. So it's very possible that it's been reused many times.
Lycra will take the bottom envelope from the stack, and then looking at the pile of papers she can't identify, she will take like a third of them and stuff them into that envelope.
Okay, you now have an envelope full of papers.
And put them inside the jacket so they go invisible.
Mhm.
And I just want to search the rest of the room for any other basic, oh, there's a schedule here. Well, that's something we can look at later, etc.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just let you keep the 29 for searching the whole room. You quickly come to the conclusion that this is an area designed for general public access, and so there's nothing really interesting here other than what may have been inside the desk.
All right. In which case, Lycra will open the door.
You hear footsteps approaching
Oh, outside or upstairs?
from the locked door.
Okay. I will go stand in a corner since I still have 20-ish minutes or so of invisibility left.
Yeah, I'd say at this point you have 30 left. This was probably another 5 minutes here.
Yep. So I'll wait in the corner to see what happens for another 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay, yeah, so the footsteps approach, door opens. It's the same Rakshasa that you were following.
Still
and
looks
she-
absolutely headache.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to be having a good time. I won't say she's like stumbling, but she's doing that careful walk, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
And she will lock the door behind her and then head out the front.
Okay. I will wait for her to get, more than a foot or two past the door, and then I'll slip out after her.
Okay, just give me another stealth check. This is... Ooh. Okay, so you open the door, and as you are opening it, slips out of your hand and slams against the side of the building. From about 5 feet up the road, she whips around and just looks at a door open and begins walking back towards it.
I step neatly off to the side.
And she will walk up to it, have a look around.
Can I kick a stone into the gap?
The gap of the door?
Yeah. So like she thought she closed it, but it actually hit a stone. Yeah, totally.
Okay. I mean, this is going to be another stealth check. Actually, give me sleight of hand, just flat.
Sure.
Okay, so you sneak the stone into the door, and she doesn't notice that as she's walking up.
Yeah, and then I scoot back off to the side to be out of the way.
Yeah, so she reaches the door and looks at the door, looks around outside, pokes her head in, looks around, goes to close it again. There's a rock. She can't close the door. She looks again, bends down, takes the rock out of the door, closes the door, looks at it, and turns around and keeps walking.
And now I'll start following her again.
Okay, now give me an advantage stealth check because we're back based on sight. Okay, so you follow her for, let's say, probably another 2 or 3 minutes up the road as she arrives at a building that looks kind of like they could be some sort of military barracks. And she heads inside.
All right, I will report back to the. Sorry, I will. Pardon me. I will walk back to the church of. 1 second. There we go. Have my audio back. This is why I don't like this Bluetooth headset. It shuts down randomly sometimes. I will walk back to Liz's temporary church, and
Okay. How are you getting out of the academy?
oh,
It
I
is
thought she
completely
left the.
fenced in, and there are guards at each gate.
Oh, I thought she left the academy.
No, this is still within the academy.
Okay. There's actually closed gates at the gates.
They look like they can close. They are not currently closed. No.
Then I am going to attempt to just walk straight out the gate.
Okay. You do so. You don't seem to draw any attention with the 24 stealth. And as you are rounding the corner, just out of sight of the gate that you have exited, that is about when your spell ends.
And Lycra will make her return to Liz's church, not rushing so she doesn't draw extra attention because she's already a human with tiefling hair.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, so after probably another, let's see, on foot, this would probably take you a good 20 to 30 minutes. You return, and Estella's definitely gone by now. Liz, Ashis, Moxie, and Zal are all present. Kieran is off doing Kieran things.
Lycra will just get Moxie into a quiet corner and show her the outside label on the envelope. You said cab drivers, right?
What does it actually say, Nibbles?
Classified.
Yeah, this is classified, my dude.
Well, I was close. Look, the soup of the X and the cross of the O, it looks like our letters if you just change this script that way. I apologize.
Moxie takes it, flips it upside down. That's right way up. Sorry, David. I got to go with the one you had.
Oh, yes. No, absolutely.
You know what? That actually makes sense because the flap of the manila envelope at the top was the way you were orienting it, and it's actually written the other way. So there you go. Yes, it says classified.
Regardless,
I assume you also give a quick scan through the papers inside. There's absolutely nothing interesting here. Give me an insight check.
Nothing interesting? Interesting.
Is it more you said investigation?
Insight.
Insight. Same roll.
Yeah, is you know, in Scott Pilgrim where he reads like the first two lines of the email and then just goes boring. That's what your brain does.
If you get that, I get to do the whole thing, and she just takes it and flips it into the garbage behind her.
May I argue that Saul is used to Moxie being bored with paperwork? No. Let me see that.
Yeah, I mean, you're there. I'll let you roll an insight check as well. You read two lines and then also flip it into the trash.
Yeah, this is trash. Sorry about that.
It was boring.
it was worth a try. Thank you for the assistance.
And then Dev Patel shows up. No, okay.
Something about some cab drivers. We need to be worried about cab drivers.
God damn it! Are you reading it upside down too?
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Moving from that discussion to Kieran. What's Kieran's plan? What you got going on?
He let everyone know he was heading back to base, given he was compromised.
Okay. And remind me, did we do any rolls beyond just getting around the corner? Or did we end there?
Ditching the clothes and just getting out, and it was just sort of losing a tail, I think, were the last rolls we did.
Okay, we did do the losing a tail roll.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I will say you, in your random turns, have wound up in a part of the city that you are not entirely familiar with.
Okay. Right.
If you would like to just immediately try to head directly back to the base area, you can give me a survival check, or if you want to do some random wandering or something, you can
I
do
think
that
he'll
as well.
continue to do just a bit of random wandering to just ensure his tail is lost, and also just to passively maybe gain some information that he might not have gotten from previously being in this area of town.
Okay. Yeah, just give me a perception check. That's pretty good. One thing that draws your eye, and this is something that you have heard reports about, but in the previous times in the city, you never bothered to come over and take a look because you knew it was bullshit. But there is, at the heart of the city, a fairly magnificent palace complex that you know to be I mean, I guess mostly Semirage, but the government is basically run out of here. And you had heard reports of one of the towers having been exploded, which you see. You see that the top of this tower is just gone. And you are reminded that this was the excuse for the beginning of the war. This tower was claimed to have been attacked by agents of Nessus.
Okay.
And as far as you were ever able to find out, and as far as any of your superiors and colleagues were ever able to find out, that is not the case. So basically the options here are either Yaloth was lying to you about it, Yaloth didn't know something, or this wasn't Nessus.
Is it under guard?
The palace? Yeah.
Okay.
Probably most of the guard in the city, even with Semirage not being here, is still very heavily guarded.
Gonna take a little bit of time to see what's words, like the types of people coming in, going out.
Okay, I will say there's not a whole lot going on. So we're getting close to evening here. It's at the end of the workday, basically. So there's not a whole lot of traffic going on right now. You see an occasional person going in or out, but it mostly looks like the night watch getting themselves set up.
Gotcha. Anything? Does anything catch my eye other than that? Like, just anything that's not just sort of mundane shift changes.
Give me an insight check.
Sorry, was it just the top of the palace that got kaboomed?
So it was a particular tower at the top of the palace, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, other than just not a lot of activity going on, yeah, nothing really. Like, are you looking at this towards an eye to see whether or not infiltration would be possible?
Yeah, I want to see like if infiltration is potentially possible. Keeping an eye on that, what was supposed to be a ruined tower and isn't apparently.
I mean, it's definitely ruined as far as you can tell.
But the report, sorry, just again remind me. The report said it should be.
So the story that was given to the people of Phlegethos is that Nessus caused the explosion that destroyed this tower. And as far as you are aware, that is not true. So the options were either that Yaloth was lying to you, that Nessus didn't have anything to do with it, Yaloth didn't know whether or not Nessus had anything to do with it, or Nessus actually didn't have anything to do with it.
Looking at the tower, the damage to it, can I determine if it was done? Because you can easily tell if something, for instance, went boom from the inside or boom impacted on the outside.
Yes. I will. Does Kieran, in his spycraft, have any experience with explosives?
Probably some. Planting them, transporting them.
I think that's fair. You're like an infiltration kind of person.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a new insight check, this time with advantage, since you're looking at something different. Give me a perception check as well, just so you can see what you're inciting.
Normal or?
Yeah, just normal, unless you have. Oh, okay. That's pretty good. The one thing that jumps out at you is that there are no scorch marks. There's no evidence of a fire of any kind.
So there was no explosion.
Something definitely removed the top of this tower. And in fact, with that perception, I will say they've probably cleaned up the stones, but you can see at the base of that tower from one certain angle, you still see like dents in the ground where you assume pieces of masonry impacted.
Can I, with my special eyes, see any of the beams and if they've splintered or fractured? Or if it was like...
There's no beams. It's like the top half of the wall of the very top floor of this tower and the roof just became no longer there.
Like it was shorn off almost, or just vaporized?
Well, like I say, you do see evidence of there having been debris on the ground. So, shorn off, no.
There was an explosion. There was just no fire.
Yeah,
Right.
Kieran's just basically trying to go. It wasn't a chemical explosion. It was potentially a natural explosion. Or concussive.
It wasn't a chemical explosion you cut off?
It wasn't a chemical explosion. Fireball. No, it's nothing that leaves scorch marks. It might have been something more akin to thunder damage, something concussive or telekinetic.
Yeah, that's a fair possibility.
Do we know who would be in the palace normally on any given day?
A bevy of various government officials. If Summerage is home, there's gonna be a lot more people around. Guards, her various attendants, like her personal guard, that kind of thing. She is obviously not. So
he is not good at
a bunch of government toadies, basically.
He wants to see if he can find someone who is running missives in and out of the palace and pickpocket those missives off.
Interesting. Okay. Let us come back to that after I've had a minute to think about it.
Okay.
Maybe we should take a quick break right here so that Kawasa can go clean up cat puke.
Yeah, I think that's a fair time for a 5-minute.
Unfortunate but necessary.
Yep.
Yeah, I will. BRB in that case.
Me too.
We're doing a be right back because you're cleaning up cat puke and that people need bathrooms.
Sorry about that.
No, it was good timing. I mean, not good timing, but
Yeah, good timing.
Fortunate timing.
anyways, I'm going to be right back as well.
I'm back.
I'm tired of not having air conditioning in my pickup truck, so I ordered a battery powered um air conditioner.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
It comes in tomorrow. I'm hoping it works well. I am so tired of driving around in a pile of sweat in my pickup.
I'm probably not even going to turn my AC on. I'm going to have the entire house to myself. And I'm going to be in the basement like most days. At least for the workday. Until it's cool out.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that was an option. It's not an option when you live in anything metal. Actually, I didn't, like, the camper didn't have air conditioning all last year, but it has these nice warm, nice huge windows I can open up.
I'm also thinking I don't look for a roommate probably August when students start coming back into town. I think that'd just be a plethora of people to choose from versus over the summer.
Put your ad up early, but
What do you think, like mid-July?
just give us, you want the people who are looking early to figure this stuff out, so you're getting a good roommate,
No,
You
I'm
want
I'm going to be looking probably for someone doing their master's or their PhD or a working professional. And given that they're going to basically have the entire upstairs minus the bathroom themselves and the kitchen, it's like I think 1100, 1200 is reasonable for that, all inclusive. Basically, full access to a house.
Yeah, I have no idea what it's like where you are, so I can't give any answers to that.
1 bedroom apartment in like a complex. You're looking at 14 to 700.
Every turn.
Welcome
And
back.
that, gi-
Back.
and that gives me all the rent paid, all the bills paid, plus like $600 in savings.
I walked into the laundry room just as the washer was playing its little song. The washing
Did you
machine
do
thinks it's a rice cooker.
Did you do a little dance when it happened?
It's not that long.
Her Jamie, her Costa, her Kai, her self, her Nibbles,
David.
David, Cat.
Okay.
You always gotta check for cat.
Speaking
No,
of-
I mean I haven't heard David. Is what I was trying to say.
No, I had heard him. I think.
David.
I am back now.
Uh-huh. Speaking of cat, is everything okay there, Quasta?
Yep, I'm eating right now. Not predated.
Thank you for the clarification. Ugh. Anyway. Okay. So Kieran, I am going to assume, finds a place to post up and watch the main gate.
Yeah, he's just going to look for a prime target. He's very much going to take his time, observe, and make sure he finds the right person at the right time. Very much stalking prey.
What's your passive perception?
19.
19?
Yep.
Okay. So the first thing that you notice while you are watching the gate is, after remaining in one place for maybe 10 minutes, you catch someone trying to pickpocket you. A redskin tiefling, his hand bumps your back as he's reaching for your coin purse.
I think I just flick my tail at his nose. Stop that.
Yeah, just make an attack roll. It's like an unarmed attack roll.
Ignore the extras. I don't have armor.
Okay, yeah, so you smack this dude fairly squarely in his nose.
And just grumble, find an easier mark.
Yeah, there's not enough blood that you think it broke, but he has been appropriately chastised and just shrinks back into the darkness. How long are you gonna look?
He figures he's probably got a couple hours, so he'll spend an hour or two. Say 90 minutes, cut it in half.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and give me, in that case, I guess just active perception. I don't think insight really applies here. You're just trying to notice a person that might be carrying messages.
I'm gonna use abilities.
So 15 total. Okay. I will say by the time you come to the conclusion that you're not going to locate what you're looking for, it's very solidly dark out. As the evening progressed, there was that sort of activity that you noticed initially of it looked like there was a shift change going on. And then a small trickle of what appeared to be workers leaving for the day. Perhaps, some people were working a little bit late, but
Okay. What I'll do instead then with that is I will try to get close to the workers and just listen in on their conversation, see if I can get anything out of them jabbering about the inside of the palace.
okay. Yeah, you managed to pick up two that seem to be going out for evening drinks after work. They're just kind of bitching about work in general. The tenor of the conversation seems to be what is the point of continuing all this nonsensical busy work when there's nobody really using the palace right now. Basically, you gather from the tone of the conversation is that everything that's kind of going on around the palace right now is just for show. There's no active. I mean, obviously, Semirage is not in the city, so that part of it is not.
So it's just being kept up for appearance's sake for the most part?
Yeah, basically. But you gather that there's no real active governance being done, at least from the palace right now, either.
I'm going to listen a bit longer, see if you can determine if they know where the real center of government is.
You can spend however long there. Either they don't mention it or they more likely don't know.
Okay, we'll give it an hour. Just because usually conversations will switch topics within 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, they eventually seem to run out of things to complain about and then start talking about more mundane things like, how are the kids? I was working on my deck last week.
Yeah, okay,
Go
at that point,
sports team or whatever,
he'll head back.
Okay, to
potentially earmark. What time would you say it is at this point?
So if you followed people that were leaving late and you spent about an hour, it's about 7 p.m. at that point.
Okay. He'll have an idea. He'll want to discuss Susan the safe house.
I'm sorry, I did not get any of that.
He's going to head back to the safe house because he's going to want to talk to other people before he does anything else.
Okay. Yeah, you will eventually arrive back at the safe house, but not before we head slightly back in time and rejoin Estella.
Hello.
Hello. So I believe we left off with you having been introduced to Thalassa and leaving the area of Liz's temple with her.
How do I spell that?
I will paste it in chat.
Okay. So I'll just kind of outline what's going through Estella's mind.
Okay.
There is no fucking way that she thinks she's going to be able to steer this conversation to where is this general that I'm not supposed to know anything about.
That seems reasonable.
Yeah. So instead, she's just going to try to get Thalassa to, everybody wants to talk about themselves, and so she's just going to encourage that as much as she can and get general information. And then if something pops out, she'll start pulling at that.
Okay, so you're just being generally charming and interested is what you're going for?
Yes.
All right. So Thalassa will attempt to begin the evening with just your standard drinks. Give me a charisma check of your choosing.
And also, Ashish was following them secretly.
Ah, yes, that is correct. Ashish, you follow them to a bar. Would you like to go inside, or are you posting up outside?
You'll go inside.
I will perfunctorily ask you for a stealth check, knowing that there's probably no way you can fail it. Yeah. So she's is just posted up in a corner, keeping an eye on things. Okay, yeah, as you begin just attempting to find out things about her, she talks a little bit about what she does for work. She refers to the OCA, whatever that is. And you can tell that she is being careful to not say too much, but she is attempting to brag about how important she is, basically.
I think I would probably ask outright. Sorry, what does that stand for?
She waves a hand dismissal. Oh, the Office of Critical Affairs.
Ooh, sounds important.
That stokes her ego slightly, and she continues talking.
I just imagine Estella doing her best empty head, big eyes, no thoughts looks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and doing it very well with a almost 30.
Did she have to do a lot of training to get that position?
Interesting.
Like, you know,
Mhm.
I did a lot of, where I'm from, I did a lot of like school. Is that how it goes here?
Obviously, such an important job comes with a certain degree of discretion required, but I would say that my training was a bit more on the practical side than the academic.
Okay.
Not being. You can tell she has a bit of an ego, but she's not. It's closer to a healthy ego, we'll say. So she does also spend a little bit of time inquiring about you.
Okay.
I think the first thing she tries to figure out is just kind of what your deal is. She's operating on an assumption that you are from the Prime Material.
Mm-hmm.
So she would dig in with that and then try to steer it towards, what brings you to the Hells, basically.
Well, I wish I could say that I was here for something grand and interesting, but I'm really just following my friends around. Liz, it is very important to her and to her God to spread the word, spread the gospel as much as possible. And it is important to me to help my friend. Exactly why we ended up in the Hells, I'm not 100% sure of, but it's been interesting.
It's not unheard of, but fairly uncommon to have visitors from the Prime Material. Did you meet someone on the Prime Material from the Hells that told you about opportunities for evangelism here?
Well, I think you'll have to ask Liz that. I suspect that she or her god might have gotten the idea from, well, there's been a handful of refugees showing up in the prime material.
Oh.
But you'll have to ask her for sure.
She attempts to persuade you to give more details on that.
What more details? What more details?
Give me an insight check. Hmm.
It's okay, I'll just play the airhead.
Well, so this is something that she's trying to communicate without saying. So let me see how good she is at doing that. What would she roll? Persuasion, I think, maybe. Ooh, 19. She seems to be searching for something specific. I'll say even with the 13, you get the idea that she was not aware of any refugees from the Hells going to the Prime Material.
Okay.
And it seems like she might be piecing something together and is trying to get you to talk about whatever it is that she thinks she might be piecing together.
Given that Estella can't quite put it together, she's just gonna act totally oblivious and start talking about the drinks.
Okay.
Trying to force her to say it out loud.
Right. After I think a minute or two of that, you get the sense that she feels like she's pushing too hard, and she just backs off on that.
Okay.
I would say by then she will propose the idea of actually just going to get some food, since it's about that time of day and she's hungry.
Sure.
Okay, she will, similar to the individual that Lycra was following. Well, she'll settle up the bill first, and then will hail one of these two-wheeled horse-drawn carts. You see this happening. What do you do?
Can you repeat the last part?
Estella and Thalassa are leaving the bar in another rickshaw-like device.
She will follow.
Okay, so you're jumping on with them? Or are you trying to follow on foot?
Yeah, that first one.
Okay, give me an acrobatics check, please, and a stealth check. All right, very good. With neither Estella or Thalassa noticing, you lightly hop up onto the back of the cart and it heads off. After a few minutes, you arrive at the front of a restaurant, and Thalassa will offer her hand to you to hop down off of the cart.
Oh, thank you.
And you go inside and grab a table. I guess same question to Ashish here. Are you heading inside or are you posting up outside? I will say this does seem to be a fairly fancy place. So it might be a little suspicious, kind of just skulking around the interior. You're not sure.
I'm just only suspicious if I find him.
Okay, so you're actually going to try to hide inside rather than just blending in, sitting at another table or something?
Yeah.
Okay. This is another instance of trying to hide, so go ahead and give me another stealth check. Estelle, give me a perception check.
Almost. Almost.
I think you probably didn't even spot him while you were still in the bar.
Yeah.
But you are now kind of concerned that there's no way Ashish could be with you based on how small that cart that you came here was.
I don't even know if Estella picked up on the fact that she's followed her when she left the first time.
Well, I mean, you did ask him to, so
Did I? Oh, okay.
I think you...
Yeah, you motioned for him to follow.
Okay.
Yeah, you at least got that he followed you to your first stop, but you think that perhaps he just wasn't able to keep following you because of how you got here.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Ashish is making friends with a plant in the corner or something.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So a meal is had. I don't know if Thalassa tries to steer the conversation any further at this point. Is there any steering that Estella tries to do?
I want to know about how the city is feeling just in general right now. Like, are people worried about the war? Are they pretty nonchalant about it?
Okay. Yes. Ever since the attack, the war hasn't really touched us here. Which is kind of unusual, really. You would think there would be more attacks afterwards. But all of the fighting seems to be taking place far from here.
Well, that's good.
I'm not sure how she would word this. Basically, you get the impression that either because of the conscription that's been going on, or perhaps some other reason, the city has felt perhaps a little more empty recently than it usually does. And I think you get specifically that there are a person or a group of people that she is, I won't say close to, but like work friend kind of closeness, that kind of closeness, that she has lost track of and is a little concerned about.
Is there any chance you're gonna have to fight?
only if the city itself is under dire threat. My position affords me certain advantages.
Estella kind of plays with her food a little bit. Where I'm from, we never had a war. At least not for a long time. I don't know how I'd feel. If something like that were to happen. Like kind of looking up at her, like giving her an opening.
I'll roll me a persuasion check. She considers for a moment and says, well, honestly, it's not so different. I've been separated from colleagues before without knowing where they were going, but I don't know, it seems different this time.
Can I insight check?
Sure. What specifically are you trying to figure out?
Does she have misgivings about this war?
I won't say misgivings, but you can tell that she is not personally invested in either the war or whatever she does related to the war. It seems to be I would say just a job, but that's kind of underselling it. Like she has feelings towards it in the direction of just a job, but it's just a jobness of her feelings are stronger, if that makes any sense.
It has to just be a job.
No, that's not the direction I'm trying to steer you in.
Okay.
So you get the sense that despite how she seems to be bragging, she would prefer to be doing something else.
Okay. I will continue the small talk until dinner is winding down.
Mm-hmm. I will say, as dinner progresses and you, I assume, lean into being the most charming version of yourself, you can definitely see the direction in which her intentions are heading, if you take my meaning.
Okay.
And at the end of dinner, she will invite you back to her place.
Ooh. I think Estella will say it's getting pretty late. I should probably get back to Liz. But maybe next time?
Hmm. Do you mean that?
Yes.
Okay, give me a persuasion check. Okay, you can tell that she is not thrilled about this response, and she will give you the I'm sure she'll be fine. She certainly seemed to have a lot of other things to attend to.
That's kind of what I'm worried about. She tends to overwork herself.
She will nod her head and say, "Very well. Would you like me to escort you back?"
If that's okay.
All right. And she will do that. She will grab another carriage and begin heading back. Give me perception check. You're not sure what I wanted you to look for.
Okay. That's fine.
You see them leaving. I will even go so far as to say you overheard that they are headed back to Liz's temple.
She shall continue to follow.
Okay. Again, hopping up on the carriage or on foot?
Yep.
Okay.
Add to the carriage.
Acrobatics check, please. And still. All right. And as the carriage arrives back at Liz's temple, Thalassa will. Ooh.
While we were on the way back, I'll tell Thalassa that, as far as I know, we should be in the city for a while longer. As someone who knows a lot about this city and maybe about the area, is there any place we should not go?
So, like, you're looking for a rougher part of the city, that kind of thing?
No, I'm looking for, like, if she has any heads up of, like, an area that I should stay out of, either because I'm a human or because shit might be going down.
Okay. Are you asking with this with the intention of tell me where I'm not supposed to be so I can go there? Like whether or not she knows about that? Is that what you're looking?
Yes.
Jamie is looking for.
Yes.
Okay. Give me persuasion. Not really. The city is generally, pretty much open. She will say, obviously stay away from restricted areas like the palace and the academy, but other than that,
Right.
it should be fine.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
And then she will inquire, I guess, if she can see you again, and assuming you say yes. That was a question.
Yes.
How she could get in touch with you.
if I'm not at the temple, just leave a note there for me?
I out of character, I want to remind you that that temple disappears after 24 hours.
Oh,
And that is something I think Estella would know.
right.
Now,
Ah.
whether or not Estella would assume that the temple will be re-put there tomorrow, that's up to you. But
Fuck, I don't know what to tell her.
You heard that?
Sorry, what?
Tell her that honestly, I don't know.
how about this? She sees your hesitation and says, perhaps you would prefer to be in charge of making contact again?
Sure, that might be easiest. I don't want you to feel like I'm leading you on or anything. I just don't know where we're going to be set up tomorrow.
Well, if it's... And, as you're pulling up, she looks up at this temple. If it's this large again, it shouldn't be hard to find. However, she will reach into her coin purse and pull something that looks like a coin but is not out and hand that to you, and then scribble down on a piece of paper an address.
I will take it.
And she'll say, this will let the gate know that you are expected.
Thank you. And I'll give her a little peck on the cheek before I disembark.
All right. She will... Yeah. I think she will just probably stay on the cart rather than walking you the 5 feet to the temple.
Mm-hmm.
And
Do we see her doing that victory dance when Stella walks away?
sorry, do you see what?
Do we see her doing a victory dance when Stella walks away?
I don't even know if you're outside, but give me an insight check.
I just want to be part of this movie.
Oh, you're going to be part of this, don't you worry.
No, correction. I don't want to be part of this movie. I want to keep watching this movie.
Even with 12, I don't think it's difficult that once Estella is not looking at her, you sense disappointment.
Oh,
But yeah, I think back into the temple, everybody but Kieran is present. And in fact, I need Cathanid, I think, to remind me there was a sending that happened. Who did the sending and what was it?
There
asking?
was no, it was a verbal message from David's magic character to get Estella to dream Corwin. So it's entirely dependent if they go back to the same. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to... So, Embers, who is with Corwin...
Embers wasn't staying in the barracks. The rest of us were, except for Liz.
Got you. Okay. All right, so you are all at the temple, and it is closing time, I guess we'll say. What do you do?
Correction. It's reopening time. It's been 4 hours. I had a nap.
Okay.
Well, Liz
No,
is
but
getting
it's not that
approached
shabby.
in the next 10 minutes by a
No, that
official.
already happened. That happened before dark. That probably happened before Estella left.
I'm gonna go up behind Zol and say, I need you to talk about the birds and the bees.
Why? You need to meet. You need to me to talk to you about it. Saul
Is
looks very confused. What?
Estelle kind of points to her slightly skimpier outfit than she would normally be wearing. Like, I get the fashion that's here. Is it normal to be extremely promiscuous?
What would Saul know about this? This city society.
Um. I. Describing the situation between Estella and Zol, I would say Zol comes to the conclusion that Thalassa was just, not looking for a long-term relationship, just found somebody that she thought was neat and wanted to have a bit of fun. So, yeah, that's not weird. No more weird than it would be in our society.
I honestly don't know what you got there. You got the blue balls, but
Oh. Well, I guess I know where to find her.
Thalassa spends the whole night wondering, was it something I said?
Maybe if she didn't think she'd lost Ashish.
I mean, Ashish is definitely there, unless he's trying to pretend to
Yeah.
not be.
No,
So-
I'm sure she's figured it out by now, but
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have made his presence known at some point.
well, I got Bupkis. Except that she works for something called the Office of Critical Affairs, which sounds important, but I don't actually know what it is.
that sounds important. Does that ring any?
Anybody who is present and hears this and wants to make an insight check can do so. Zol and Moxie would have advantage on this.
That shouldn't be
I did not
advantage.
mean to
Rob.
roll 3. But I got a 22.
Okay. So this is kind of the inverse of the precedent you've set up. But Zol didn't pay attention when this was brought up, and Moxie did. Not only does your intuition kind of trigger on, that's the kind of thing that you call a branch of the government that you don't want people looking at too close. And also, you have heard of that in your briefing. That is essentially your counterpart in the city. So I actually didn't come up with a name for whatever Yaloth's division is, but this is essentially the Phlegethos version of Yaloth.
We are the closed hand.
There you go.
Might not be relevant for a job right now, but a good contact to have.
Good
Something that
contact.
I should continue to cultivate.
It'll be a great contact for us to take back with us when we leave. You have
Don't
lots of
tempt me.
knowledge.
Are you the kind of girl that can do that? No offense, man.
Can do what?
I don't know. Mix it, doing assassinations, war stuff. It's one type of things, but playing with the heart, it's some people find it harder than others.
It's so much fun.
Lycra mocks, Shock. But I thought you were serious.
I'm always serious.
Light laughter. Lycra hands Estella the empty envelope and points to the files thrown in the garbage twice.
I think after Zol's comment, Estella kind of like opens her mouth and then thinks and then closes it and goes to say something again and stops.
Give me, Estella, both an insight and a deception check. Okay. You win the roll.
Just saying, don't make their liability your liability.
I'll keep it in mind.
And what I'm saying is, we can get so much good information out of her. Keep her close.
These conversations break my heart.
And that's why you leave me up to doing that stuff.
Are we back at the safe house?
Oh, you were headed that way? Doing a walk and talk?
We probably were doing a walk and talk, but if we were just in the temple, then I would probably suggest that we go to sleep now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, you return to the safe house, meet up with both Embers and Kieran. The request for a dream from Estella to Corwin, is that correct?
So, Embers is kind of, I don't know what he meant, but Lord Corwin asked for you to dream for him?
Yeah, I understand. You understand too. That was the thing that how we got here.
But he's not even here.
Never mind.
Say it's a variation on the same spell.
Oh. Embers is both intrigued and disappointed.
Sorry, Ty.
Nothing. I forgot Embers went back to the safe house because she didn't like the confine, so I wasn't actually saying anything.
Yeah, and remind me, David, they are intending to return to the compound in the morning, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Also, I posted new art in our channel.
Okay. So was there anything else happening before we moved into the long rest portion of the night?
I feel like we should sit down and strategize about how exactly we're going to find this fucking general.
Embers hands out good habaneros.
On that note, when I was making my way back here, I ran by the palace, and I kind of explained what I saw. And also I picked up on the fact that it's not being used as a central governance location, so we might be able to track a messenger from there to someplace with more information where they actually might be hiding.
Is this information new for the task group?
Yes.
So as far as the tower explodey bit, that is not news to either Zol or Moxie. The fact that the palace doesn't currently seem to be being used as the seat of government is... actually, the two of you give me an insight check, Moxie and Zol.
Why Saul is so dumb with the roll of the dices? I playing someone who's cool and the dices don't follow me.
Okay, yeah. Zol just to Moxie, you can't really put your finger on it, but that doesn't seem weird to you. That the palace is not the center of activity right now.
So, does it seem? Does it make sense that during wartime that they might move this power to a different location? Is that what I'm feeling?
Yeah, that is one way of interpreting it. You hadn't thought about it, just when Kieran said that out loud, you were like, oh yeah. But you hadn't really thought about why, I guess.
We have reports of the lady that I don't remember the name. That's the queen. If she's in the front, she's not on front lines right now, right?
Yes, you do know that she's actively involved in the fighting on the front lines and is really the reason, along with her secret weapon, which you now know what that is, that's really the reason the war has been going as well for her as it has been.
Yeah, well, so it makes sense that whatever government she's running it on that end. Hmm.
So, how do you find... Oh, right, I was going to look at those papers that were shoved in my hand and I've just been carrying around for an hour.
Oh no, those are some mambo jambos about some cab drivers.
They're boring.
Yeah, you get the same thing.
Patches.
There's so again, it's classified, written on the envelope.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And the papers, there's what did I have them roll before? Was that insight?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, you get to give me an insight check now. These really are actually, yes. I think that's high enough to get that not only are these incredibly boring, but that seems intentional.
These are too boring.
Yes.
Kieran pipes up if that's verbalized. That could there be a cipher hidden inside the notes?
No way, I would have noted that.
No, it's more that this is the kind of thing that you would put somewhere to make it seem occupied by something other than it is occupied by. So, a front, I guess.
Yeah, these were the dummies. These were the dummy papers.
Okay.
And they're not there anymore.
Uh-oh.
Lycra, give me an insight check. Well, actually, I guess before I have Lycra give me an insight check, did Estella kind of give a rundown of the evening to everybody?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Lycra, give me an insight check. Mm.
Well, it's not that far a walk. I can put them back.
It's been hours at this point. I guarantee you they've been noticed missing.
Yeah, the cat's out of the bag.
I mean, no one was in the office at the time, so someone would have to specifically go looking through the desk to find out that they're missing.
It was designed to be cat's paw. So they're going to actively look and see if they're missing.
I don't
check on them routinely.
My agent
I
didn't
don't
look.
know what cat's paw is in this context. Can you define, please?
They're meant to be there to be found, and they want to lure someone in. trick them, etc., etc. So they're going to actively see if they're missing.
No, I don't want to have given you this impression.
Okay.
It's more like writing deli on the front of the mob's
Oh, so it's
place
not
where
that
they
complex.
launder money.
It is literally that simple.
Yeah, it's just set dressing.
Well, in which case, maybe when we go to return them, we go try and figure out what is underneath these papers.
I was going to say I could take young Stealth Boy along with me since there's locks on the next door.
You're speaking. I just want to make sure because
I'm talking about our invisible snake.
No, are you Lycra or Embers right now?
Lycra is talking about Lycra going back with the papers to put them back because she knows where they came from, and taking along Ashish.
Yeah.
Since he can get access to the rest of the building.
That might be our best bet at getting some real information.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any other ideas on where we should be looking?
Remind me, only 5 of you have rolled insight about this, right? Kieran hasn't yet?
Kieran hasn't, no.
All right, one more chance. Kieran, give me insight.
I'm going to give you guidance and bardic.
Guidance, no. Bardic, yes. Oh, that's weird.
Wouldn't it be the other way around?
Guidance is an active spell you're casting, so you need to have a reason to cast it. If
True.
It's just
Right.
Yeah.
Don't forget I have my psionic thing I can use.
Having thoughts.
Yeah, I'll just say I'm willing to swing. You can naturally be inspiring, but guidance is like a more intentional act.
Yeah, guidance is I'm peering at this lock. Oh God, please help this poor thief pick this lock. That's guidance.
And then that's kind of even stretching it on
Bardic
inspiration, but I'll let that go this time.
It's super interesting it, but
D12.
seems like we need it.
Oh, hold on. See if I need it first.
Yeah.
That's
Huh?
yeah. He has his own built-in psionic inspiration.
So 20. Do you want to keep going?
Yep.
22. Yeah, I think that's good enough. Putting it together based on just Estella saying it out loud and the description of this area that you have, that you have gotten, and the fact that both of these individuals seem to be present at the temple at the same time, you come to the conclusion that Lycra was at the OCA.
Okay. I pass that on.
That's kind of what we were assuming and why it was going to be worth both returning the fake papers and breaking into the back rooms.
Okay. That can probably be our next task.
I suppose since Moxie can possibly, well, because there's a window in the front door, I have a way of getting myself and Ashish in without anyone else noticing. I don't know if anyone else can make that long of a jump.
We have to be careful of not burning the place if we know this is important. We cannot be discovered that many times.
Did Kieran tell us that he was caught?
Zol and she's definitely no.
Yeah, I informed them, and he would assume under standard operating procedures that Zol would inform.
Yeah,
Why the hell would?
I think it's reasonable that everybody's aware of that.
So I assume that that's going to get back to all of the important organizations or whatever within the city, and this is going to be much harder.
they're going to be on alert, but I mean, it's a war footing. They would have assumed that spies would be active in the city anyway. So the question is, how much are probably not much more, given the resources that they would have to spend.
Hmm.
They would just probably have their existing assets be on hire. At least that's my take on it.
I think they're still gonna do something about the security. Maybe not right away. We might need to be fast on whatever we want to do.
So tomorrow then? Or
An
tonight?
idea. We can do it tonight.
I am not tapped out, but I am at around 50% resources, so tonight will work, but I have less extra options if we do it tonight.
When would they be least? Just given our knowledge as players, when would they be least likely to break?
Least likely to what?
Be aware of a break. Or prepared for a break.
It's kind of, whichever thing you feel more equipped to deal with. So during the day, you think it would probably be easier to get into the academy in general, but also there's more likely to be more people present in the OCA. Whereas at night, it might be a little more difficult to get into the academy. I will just say that Lycra is assuming that those gates close at night, but that there's less likely to be people present in the building itself. So,
I'm going to ask you to make a rough extrapolation. How far is the windows I was able to see from the gate?
I don't know, like a quarter mile.
Which is how much in kilometers?
How far can people walk in 5 minutes? About a little less than half a kilometer.
Okay, I can do a half a kilometer teleport. Oh wait, no, it's in feet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dimension doors in feet, isn't
Yep.
Dimension doors in feet.
Yes, this is about
Damn
double
it.
dimension door.
Damn it. Okay, so that does not work. I'd have to actually infiltrate the outer walls, which I can still do with greater invisibility. That's just limiting.
You can get over the walls in less than a minute.
Well, it's more get past the walls, and then once I'm within range, dimension dooring in. But yeah, that's the problem, is that
There's nothing stopping us from holding off until tomorrow.
yeah, it is definitely multi-resource intense for this situation. I was hoping the window was closer to one of the walls, but it's too far, so
I'm just above table. Like, we don't need to do it immediately. We can't have the character best.
if we get no other leads before tomorrow night, we'll try doing it tomorrow night, I think.
Sounds like a plan.
Is there any other locations we should be invested in besides the OCA?
Liz, I think we should continue doing the temple shtick, if that's okay. Oh no, you have to go.
I'm fairly certain
I
that
have a
Liz...
meeting in the morning, but I can put the temple up before I leave.
Well, also, didn't
If
Liz
Liz
sleep
is not
there?
here.
Yeah. I was going to say, Liz is not with you. It's
Okay.
just the 6 of you plus Embers.
Okay. Well, I can ask
That-
Liz to put.
That being said, and Ty, feel free to jump in here, but I assumed Liz communicated to you that she was staying there and would be leaving in the morning.
Yes, seems all correct. But Liz has a feather bed where she is. She's gonna stick there.
Yeah.
That being said, you can figure some way to message her, and she can put it up before she leaves.
And then I guess Moxie and I run the temple.
As long as nobody comes for healing, it works.
I'll
I
just
mean-
tell them that she's out helping somebody else with something big.
I mean, between Moxie, Estella, and Lycra, they can do everything, including minor healing.
You also, Karen was advised, don't waste your resources on them. Our primary mission is to get the academy done.
All right. Is there, in the interest of moving us towards another 5-minute break here, is there anything else that needs to happen before long rest?
We can do the dream after. Right?
Yeah, I'll do the dream after.
Okay, I will be back momentarily.
Okay.
Not a full 5 minute, just a quick bathroom break.
The guards catch you inspecting the walls outside the gate. I'm a wall inspector. No, seriously. Oh, Reddit. Welcome back.
The irony of being the DM, meaning you talk more, therefore drink more, therefore have to pee more, but also can't just sneak away while somebody else is talking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can also just say, "Hey, I need 5 minutes."
Well, that's what I did.
At any time. But, you don't have to be like, okay, I gotta get to a certain point before doing that.
Did anybody else leave?
Nope.
I actually will be right back. Sorry.
Okay.
I have these urges with the type of missions like we have to do everything now. We're gonna have everything in front of us, but it's like it's not that type, I guess. Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm looking at Ember's spell list going, is there anything Ember can do to help the party for the 5 minutes that they're left? Oh, no. No, there really isn't anything. Like, there's no plants to talk to. It's more of a, well, have lunch. Good, you've had a good lunch. Well, that's about all I can do for you guys. Good luck.
While we're mildly paused, Jamie, can you assist me with a logical progression here?
Okay.
It seems to me that being in the dream, you would technically be asleep.
Uh-huh.
And it also seems to me that if two different people in two different places in the world were using that spell, because we are treating the dream as essentially a different plane, you would technically be in the same dream, even if you didn't run into each other, yes?
I
So, like-
think so, yes.
So it's like,
Like-
the same
like the-
demi-plane.
You are both accessing, whether or not like you are physically there, you're both accessing the same plane for that spell.
Like No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot like that. Okay. I guess I've also sort of set that precedent with how the cleric of Mirkul was working.
Mhm.
Okay. Yes. Good.
Definitely wasn't about to say out of my head.
Okay. Yes. Let's make sure everybody's back. I heard Ty is David here.
Yar.
I heard Xanad is Quasta here.
No.
I heard Jamie is Mist here. Okay. Yeah, so moving into the long rest. What happens?
I will go and dream Corwin.
Alright. You do that. Where do the two of you appear?
You said that, don't you, Jamie?
Hmm?
You set that location, right?
Yes. At the right outside of Liz's little makeshift temple.
Okay.
That she made this morning.
I don't think it is there, but you're in the park.
Yeah. What's up?
Hey, so we're not being recruited for active combat or anything other than, correct me if I'm wrong, Knowles, sort of passive research.
I don't think you've been told directly, but yeah, that's a decent interpretation of the facts that have been presented to you so far.
So what? They're gonna stick you in a laboratory somewhere, and you're gonna run experiments.
No, what the hell about?
You
Do you
have
remember-
been told that you'll be traveling south tomorrow.
We'll be traveling south. Nibbles. Correct me. Just gonna DM it.
Sorry, you cut out there?
I'm DMing you something.
Oh, okay. Yes, you did see that.
Okay. Remember when I told you that I saw Simrush feeding people to the Mithlar?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Mm-hmm.
And those missing mages from... Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If possible, if your team can potentially sneak up some information on that, I'm gonna try to keep everyone here safe.
At this point, Estella, you may choose to make a wisdom saving throw if you wish. I guess it's also fair that I give you the information You feel like someone is attempting to contact you via the dream spell.
Oh.
You bring them here?
Um,
Can I give them a busy signal?
have I established whether or not you know who it is? I can't remember. I feel like yes.
I feel like you established that no.
I know the only other
Well-
people that I can think of that know this spell are my patron, the bronze dragon that died, and the ex-cleric of Merkel.
No, because I feel like when we were doing the first dream with Xander, didn't you decide that he knew who Zoe was? Or did I tell him ahead of time? I can't remember.
What? I'm super confused.
I'm trying to figure out whether you know who this is or not.
Do you have Dream Caller ID?
I don't think I do.
Yeah, if you wish to give a busy signal, you can just let that wisdom save stand.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a busy signal
Okay.
because I don't think this is gonna take too long, and presumably
Oh, I see. You.
I want to
see
resist until
what
I'm
you
done
mean by
talking
busy
with
signal.
Corwin, and then when
No.
he goes,
As far as you know about the spell, that's not an option. It's either you accept it or you don't. The busy signal is just when they're not asleep.
fuck. I think I do the save then.
Okay. Continue then.
My guess is she's powering up the Mithar with their essence.
Yeah, I would guess that too, and you should not be anywhere friggin' near it.
No. Well, I eventually have to be, but no, not without everyone.
So what? Do you just abort?
I don't think we should abort. I think we should maybe consider a way to delay our departure. Maybe that's something we can work from both angles.
I thought you were leaving in the morning.
Oh, yeah, I know it's going to be sudden.
Okay. What would delay your departure?
The wagon's breaking down?
Wouldn't they just get new wagons? Well, maybe not if they're short on supplies.
Yeah. We have done a number on the supply routes.
But the wagons are going to be in the compound, right? So we're not going to be able to get to them.
I don't know. It may be a case we just have to play it safe and keep you updated on our status. I don't know, maybe just a nightly check-in. And
Okay. Or maybe you guys can do something tomorrow night?
yeah, I'll talk to the others if we get a chance, or I might just have to do something.
Okay.
Not reckless, but stupid.
Estella gives him a look.
I will also point out something that the both of you would know is as long as you stay within 5 feet of Liz, you're just an action away from being on a different plane.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna tell us to keep within a dash distance of Liz at all
Okay.
times, and just pull her aside. If you see her, I don't know if she's coming back to our place tonight or not. If you see her before I let her, and yeah, we'll just keep in touch. that none of us get eaten by this giant god orb.
Yeah, just try to find out as much as you can, waste their time as much as you can,
Yeah. All right.
but play it safe.
And if you have anything, if you can just, if you and Lycra can think of any ways to counter that or anything, that would be appreciated, because I'm flying solo and I don't really want to pull out all my research notes in front of a bunch of gestures at the
Yeah.
area around him.
Corwin will remember the method in which this feeding seems to have been done was a familiar sickly green light.
Familiar to him?
Yes. You
So-
have used that spell recently.
Have I used it since my transformation?
Yes, you've used it since you've been in the Hells. It's disintegrate.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, she's disintegrating them as they are fed into the orb. It's just great.
So you would, at least assuming it's regular disintegrate, you would have the information available about how to help resist that.
Counterspell.
I don't. Okay. Yeah, good luck. Stay safe. Get in touch tomorrow.
Okay. I'll try. No promises.
Or send in
Depends
or
on-
something if you can.
Yeah. I'll keep you informed as best I can.
All right. And have the other magic users in your play it safe. Don't show up. Especially Lycra.
I think that ship may have already sailed, but we'll do our best.
Okay, great. He's saying it implied that because Lycra has incredibly powerful magic, and also because she can be.
Sorry, you keep cutting out.
Fuck's sakes. He's saying that doubly because, one, she has a lot of powerful magic. Two, she's a bit reckless with her spells.
Ah, yes, that is true. But she does have counterspell.
All right. Stay safe.
I will, if at all possible, I will let Corwin from the spell and just hang out in the drain for a couple minutes and see if the caller calls me back.
I don't think they do.
I would like to rack my brain and think of my note of anybody else who might have the spell.
Dumb question. Metis doesn't. Right?
I don't think he has previously demonstrated the ability to use the spell.
He used to be a cleric, so his magic works different than mine. I couldn't have taught it to him.
Give me some kind of roll that allows me to give you that information.
If the answer is no, like, that's fine. I think that's more interesting, but...
So I won't give you names. I will say you have met a very powerful being whose capabilities you aren't aware of. You also have met a cleric, and you have, extrapolating from Mirkul's cleric, there's some way that clerics can get access to that spell. That's
Maybe it's a
probably the
Ressa?
list. You don't know if she has any magical abilities or not. In response to Boston.
Cereza.
Oh, has he demonstrated that?
No.
He is also a powerful magical being, though. So.
Yeah. Okay. I
Love
guess.
conflicting priorities.
Yeah. Maybe they'll try again later. I will go to sleep.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything else before we do our rolls and hit the long rest button?
Lycra does another round of self-study.
I'm going to assume you mean enchanting and not make any rude comments.
Sorry, 2 rounds of enchanting.
Why not both?
Yes, anybody, if we're going into the long rest, anybody who wants to do their enchanting can do so.
Yay! Mine's done.
Go ahead and hit the long rest button, and then I need from Mist, please roll D20 at disadvantage.
You want this rolled under our mains?
I don't think Quas is keeping track of this, so it doesn't matter. So that's 5. 13, I win 1. Quasta, you are at advantage. $12 versus 8, 1-1. Jamie, you are flat. Two to 1. Cathanid, you are at advantage.
Defend it? Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
2 to 2. David, you are flat.
Oh, I thought it was advantage.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong one. I'm flat. You're at advantage.
So you're going to grab the 5.
3 to 2. And Ty, you are flat. And I am also flat. So that's 4 to 2. She moves forward 1.
Shouldn't she move forward 2?
Nope. She can only move forward a maximum of 3 if she wins all 6.
Okay.
It's like a fraction.
So everybody please put on your magical hats.
Crawls out of the stone in the floor, makes sure to leave fresh habaneros for everyone in the morning.
So funnily enough, Sol have way more magical power than Andrea.
She's the muscle.
Okay. I have nothing that happens before Embers and Liz are at the gate at the crack of dawn.
Estella,
You'll try to.
go ahead.
Estella's not magical.
Sorry, what?
Estella's gone to bed.
Does Estella talk to Ambers before bed or after getting up?
Oh. I don't know that she does talk to Ambers that night. So I think she would have gone straight to sleep after the spell.
Yeah, I assumed you just went to
In the
sleep
hopes
from the
that
spell.
whoever called her would call her again.
So I think if you wish to speak with Estella, you will have to wake her up.
No, it is the other way around, because Embers does not know about what happened in the dream.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I think you probably leave before Estella wakes up then.
That's fine. Corwin knows.
I have about 4 ways to destroy the carts, but I have not been informed.
Yep. That's okay. All right. So Liz and Embers are there as the gates are opened. You are allowed admittance and escorted to meet up with your other 4 compatriots who are being shown to the front of a line of carts. Sits a fairly fancy and well-appointed carriage. So behind you are a bunch of just, open top carts carrying barrels and boxes of stuff. But this is one of 2, comfortable means of conveyance.
Is it the one carriage big enough to fit our group?
Yes, from the looks of it, the 6 of you will be going in one carriage, and some officer type people will be in the other one.
All right.
I'll also say each of you is handed a small parcel as you are shown to the carriage, and instructed not to open it until told to.
Okay.
Once everyone's
Liz was already starting to open it when she was told not to, and she stopped.
Sorry, go ahead, Githany.
Once everyone's in the cart, Corwin probably remembers who speaks what. Who in the group speaks either Elvish or Dwarfish?
Liz speaks Elvish.
I speak both. No, I don't speak Dwarvish.
Draconic?
No, I speak every language. I forgot. I speak every language.
Draconic and Druidic?
Draconic.
Okay, then just very in a whisper in Draconic. Everyone, I want you to stay near Liz at all times. Liz, if things go sideways, as I think they might, I want you to be ready to tell us. I don't care where.
Draconic, I cannot understand what you're saying.
I want Liz to be ready at a moment's notice to teleport us and somewhere, anywhere out of here if things go sideways.
Why?
Liz doesn't
What?
speak Draconic.
He'll repeat it then for Liz. He's just trying to use a language that people might not necessarily meet up on. And then privately by message.
What? Why should go sideways?
Privately via message, he's going to explain as succinctly as possible in 25 words or less. Semiraj is feeding magic users to the orb she has.
The message does not have the same word limit as sending does.
Oh, okay. So if things go sideways and we're in your presence or something happens...
Cathana, roll a d6. Okay.
Tree.
Oh, crap. Okay, so 2, actually, because you're one of the 6. So, who's in this group? This message is conveyed to Liz and Saphir before you are joined in the carriage by a bored-looking... You're not sure what he's wearing a military uniform, but he doesn't seem like a soldier. I don't think I can give you any more information than that.
Okay.
Offers a habanero.
Civilian advisor type deal.
I mean, More will happen after he sits down. I'm just giving you the upfront description.
I have.
Thank-
How compact are these carts?
You all are still comfortable. You're not being squished together. You have your own space.
Okay.
Embers offers a habanero. Embers, what's your name?
He will accept it and nod at you, and then reply, Azric. I am to instruct you, and he gestures after he has, sat down and made himself comfortable. He will gesture and say, please open your parcels now.
Parcel.
So,
Yes,
And
sir.
inside, you will see a small amount of gem dust and a silver bracelet, each of you.
Arcana for components for this spell.
Yeah, if you want to roll Arcana check to try to intuit what's happening here.
Can I do a... Oh, fuck, what is the spell? What's the spell to tell you what magic item is? Identify.
Identify. Do you have it?
Yeah?
Sure, if you want to cast it.
Let me double check. I'm pretty sure I do.
Andrea goes, ooh, pretty.
Oh, pretty. Oh, these are used for spells, right? I've read about this. What is this? Talk? It's more
Cathana,
blended
I
talk.
DM'd you, and I'm holding to see if Ty has
Sure.
identified. Yeah, Andrea, it's pretty.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
I don't. I swear I did. Never mind.
Okay.
Sophia
I
has
want to do an Arcana
identified.
check then.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, what did you say, Mist?
Sophia has identify.
Ooh, would you like to use it?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead and mark it off. This is not a magical item.
Sophia will let them know.
Okay. I will send you the same message, Ty.
Embers will just directly cast Dispel Magic on it.
Okay. Nothing happens. There is no magical effect.
Should
Interesting.
I look at my coworkers and I look at the thing. Should I be casting something right now? I'm so confused.
Azure will hold up a hand and say, what you will be expected to do when you arrive at our destination is similar to what I will show you here. And then he will go into the most boring and bored sound. So he is bored in telling you about this. You get the sense that he has explained this many times, how to enchant an item. These materials are provided to you to practice. It is only good for cantrip, and you will be expected to spend the 3 days traveling getting that done.
Oh. So do you want any cantrip or one specific?
Yeah, any cantrip is fine. He's basically, this is just an introduction to enchanting. You will be expected to do more enchanting when you get there. This is just to learn how to do it.
Oh, fascinating. Thank you so much.
It is very obvious to everyone because of the snoring that Corwin has fallen asleep.
So I'm so sorry, Master Corwin.
And like halfway through this, the carts are underway, and if you look out the window, see the city going by you.
You feel like Andrea apologizes on behalf of Corwin.
Azric does not seem to give two shits. In fact, I don't even think he stops his monotonous drone to acknowledge the fact that you're apologizing. He is fully on autopilot at this point.
Okay.
After he falls silent from his explanation, by now you, looking out the window, see that you have left the city and are just heading across the landscape. About an hour into the journey, everything stops for a bit for a brief rest, and he nods to all of you and exits the carriage, never to be seen again.
Bye, sir.
And the day continues much as this. So, unless y'all have something that you wish to discuss or do, we will fast forward through most of the day.
He'll suggest everyone get out and go for a walk with Corwin to see the landscape. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Can we do that, or do we feel like we should probably be on our going?
Anybody that understands Infernal would have heard shouts of like water break, so you don't think you're going to be here long.
Enough to get out for a stretch.
Yeah, like
Stretching leg, yeah.
Before the break, Ember definitely does the round of a chanting because, I mean, I can make this a little token. That's awesome. But then Embers will follow without question.
Yeah, and I'll just say this takes 3 days. If y'all want to enchant a cantrip of some kind, feel free to do so. You will be allowed to keep this.
Okay. Can we? What were the rules on enchanting combat?
Sorry, the rules on enchanting what?
Combat cantrips into things.
I don't think there were any different ones, Jamie.
Does cantrip scale with level? So would it scale to my level, or would it scale to the level of her?
Oh, I see what you mean. No, it would be basic level.
Yeah.
It will not scale with you.
Okay.
My internet.
Just like you can't upcast a spell that isn't a regular magical item.
Right, so it would be the basic D8.
Yep.
Sorry, Ty, you said something about your internet?
My internet chirped for quite a bit there. I have no idea what's going on.
What was the last thing you heard?
There was discussion about this is the magical item.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so after all of that, you were basically informed that you will be expected to do enchanting when you get to where you're going. And then this guy explained to you how to do enchanting, and Corwin fell asleep in the middle of the lecture. And then the caravan stopped for a rest. And
I'm gonna be a complete. Liz is gonna just be a dick and pull out one like her big enchantment and start doing that in the middle of the speech.
Okay, that's fine. It doesn't even seem to register with Azric. He is reciting this thing by rote, and his mind is elsewhere. So, okay.
Anyway, getting back to what I was saying, he's just going to pull everyone aside for a quick stretch walk, just far enough away from the carts to not be overheard, and repeat the message he was sending.
Okay. So everybody is now aware of Corwin's concerns.
Anyways, Liz would, through telepathy, would let you know that we will end up back at her father's temple if it hits the fan.
Okay.
Zagden is going to stay very, very close to Liz for the rest of this trip.
I also have this, and I hold up my Rod of Absorption, so if she casts any spells at us, counter her, I can absorb them. And then redirect the energies into a more, he uses his finger quotes, creative form.
All right. You start hearing the shouts of time to get going again.
Alright, get back in the cart.
Once we're back in the cart, Liz is going to use her magic hand and do a card reading for herself.
Is that...
It does nothing. It's
Oh,
floating.
okay. Sorry, I thought you were saying you're casting Divine Intervention.
No, literally, that actually is a great way to do divine intervention. I will remember that in the future. No, she's just doing a tarot card reading for herself using the deck of faces.
Okay, roll a d22 3 times.
Apparently, Nibbles is actually doing a tarot card reading.
I have to remember what order the deck is in.
This guy shall receive.
Just pull your deck out.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Is in the camper, so. Oh, I also need to do this.
Not 22.
Okay, so that's death correctly oriented. Then
Oh, you're actually going to do that? I was going to roll 1d2 for everyone.
the world inverted, and the hangman inverted. That is not a great reading.
The world's upside down. Death is going to happen. Somebody's going to come back to life. Got it.
There you go.
No, sorry, we're going to save somebody from being killed.
Yeah, well, that's actually pretty good then. Actually, I guess a way you could interpret that is you're going to save the world from being killed.
By killing someone.
Okay. So it's up to y'all. As far as I'm concerned, you just travel for the rest of the day and nothing else happens.
Yeah, I have nothing else other than
Mhm.
needing to get to the destination.
Ooh, I use the time to, if Souls wants to, what's the name? Jamie's character.
Segdate.
Do you wanna, like compare notes? I see they have a book there.
Um. I. Okay.
Yay! Scooch over there. So what do you have? And start showing you my book.
I think Zagden's a bit apprehensive at first. It takes him a little bit of time to get comfortable sort of showing his magic book to somebody.
I guess Andrea doesn't. It's really eager to show her, so there's no problem there at first.
Yeah.
Like I have this and go that and this equation.
So where'd you get it?
I made it. I mean, I know that you made the actual book, the physical book. Like, I got it from Liz's place, but uh, I wrote the things in it. I've been studying for a while, like all the groups, like Corwin's magic and whatnot, and try to understand how it works, and writing writing my own conclusions and theories.
Kind of look over at Liz and back to Andrea. Liz's place?
I mean, where she lives, that just I mean the empty book. You know what I mean?
Does she have a lot of magic books?
Oh no, I mean I don't know. Do you have magic books at home?
I mean, there's the library you got that from.
Yeah, but I mean this is not magic itself. I wrote magic in it.
No, but it's a book on magic. Is it above table? It was a book on magic, right?
Well,
Like a
this would
beginner's
have
guide to the book to magic.
just been no. So Andrea does have a couple of those, but this would have been empty, I guess.
Yeah, empty.
It is functionally a wizard spell book, but she is definitely a sorcerer and not a wizard. Shush.
Same with Zagden.
Yep, isn't Zagden actually a wizard?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, and I think Andrea technically has levels in wizard, but they are both sorcerers and don't question it.
I'm gonna be still pretending that everything works as a wizard, uh, except the name until
Right.
something happens.
Yeah.
So the confusion Sagnan about the magic on the book, is it genuine in character or was some confusion there, Jamie?
No, it was in character.
Ah, yeah. I mean, it's kind of whispering. Is your book magic?
No, it's just reminders. You know?
I have that. I got a lot of spells I gotta think about in the morning, and I take a moment just to think about all of them and what I want for the day. Because that's how I'm waking at work.
Yeah. That's
I
fair.
just do it. Shrug.
The entire group just gives him the middle finger.
I have to focus on the elemental spirits.
I'd like to see magic books.
When you say magic books, you're talking like ones with magic in them or ones with like flying teeth that come and attack you?
It sounds scary.
Yeah.
Liz summons a chest and flips it open, and on top there's clothing, and underneath of it there's a couple books she pulls out. I have no idea what they
Yay,
are, but she shows them to him.
books.
Zagden takes it very carefully with both hands.
I get a reminder what Zagden looks like.
He is, for a shorthand, I will say a demonic dragonborn, basically.
He is like
I
twice the size of Liz.
Yeah.
More akin to, if you've read Dragon, it's more akin to a draconian.
And if I remember correctly, he has black scales. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
He's over 10 feet tall. This wasn't short. This is my
Yeah,
only
Abishai-
non-short character.
Yeah, Abishai are pretty tall. He's probably like 7 or 8 feet. But he hunches quite a
Well,
bit.
Odd is an elf.
feel like he's very big, but seems so delicate. Andrea kind of with the face in awe. It's like, he's so cute.
I have been interpreting the way you've been narrating him, Jamie. He's somebody that knows he's bigger than the environment around him, and so moves carefully. Is that kind of
Yeah.
what you've been going for?
Yeah.
Mm.
He says, I'll give it right back.
Just make sure I get it back at some point, please.
I've never had another magic book before.
It's a book on magic.
That's what I mean.
Character would look a lot better with Zoe.
And Zagan starts reading.
I don't have anything particular planned to be in the book, so we would just say he has a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Much theory. Wow.
All right.
Can't remember. Has Zoe given Sagden the speech, magical god speech?
Probably
Probably.
not. Well,
Probably
have-
not.
I'll say you haven't narrated that you have.
While he's reading and completely distracted, Zoe gives Sagden the speech about her god.
I feel like Andrea kind of sees you starting, like, sorry, but like starting your shit. It's like, no. Keep,
I feel like she goes up behind Zoe and is doing the speech with her, but in a complete mocking process.
or maybe she starts and from behind I just close your mouth. No, Liz doesn't want to be touched. I don't do that.
But he's interested in magic.
Yeah, but you need to let the precious boy enjoy the precious book. The teaching after.
Fine.
Zagden noticed none of that.
He is off in his own world.
Mm-hmm.
Out of anger, she puts up her temple and goes inside and slams the door.
I don't
We're
think
moving.
there's enough room in
Yeah.
a moving cart for that to
I thought we
happen.
were done for the night.
Nope.
Oh, I was just assuming this was during the day while you were still moving.
That's what I was assuming, because
Yeah.
Lucas hadn't narrated that we had stopped.
I thought we did narrate. We stopped. I misheard. I'm sorry. Then no, she doesn't. Like just pulling up the magic chest probably was awkward.
Yeah, I think you might have got a couple of curse words at Carl. Dropped almost on his foot.
I mean, as long as you were careful, there is enough room in here that you could have done it. But
Yeah, awkward. Still doable. Just awkward.
all right.
Shall we zoom ahead?
Okay. So yeah, eventually the sun will set. It will be time for. No, that is actually not how this works. If you're paying attention, you will notice throughout the day a shift change. Each cart has 3 drivers, and this caravan does not stop. So you are expected to sleep where you are, which you can do. It is comfortable enough to do, and there is enough room. It's still a little. It's like sleeping on a plane, basically.
Is it only us in this cart?
Yes.
Is there a wall between us and the driver?
Yes, it is. There are solid walls. It's still fairly thin, so you feel like if the driver tried, he could probably overhear you, but you don't know what languages he speaks. So,
Embers casts as a ritual Skywrite and just makes a single line heading in the general compass direction that the cart is heading. So no actual words, just a single long cloud kind of pointing compass direction wise in our direction.
Like a contrail, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it obviously an arrow or is it just a contract?
It's just a line.
Okay.
Okay. I
Does it
will
look out of
attempt
place,
to
or-
roll a dice onto my desk. Drop
I
it on the
th- I
floor
think-
and roll a 20.
They spend 10 minutes casting the spell, so the rest of you will probably notice eventually, but
I think you just get. Why?
just leaving a note. It'll be gone in an hour or so.
Or
Home.
I think you would all remember this being discussed in the meeting with Yaloth.
The other two would. I don't think that was with the whole party.
No, you are correct. So
okay.
Zagdan and Saphir would remember that.
Embers is trying not to say anything too loudly, so that way, if the drivers are actually listening, they won't pick anything up. But yeah, leaving a note for home is the answer you get.
And to clarify, you were waiting until dark for this, right?
Sunset probably is when I would have started. Just so that way there's some light to help make the cloud more visible, but not tons.
Right. Sounds good.
I think when people start trying to sleep, Andrea's gonna do a cool flip and gonna sit on top of the cart.
Okay.
So there's more space.
All right. And I think at that point, it is both back to the fight group and also the end of this week. So we
Okay.
will pick up at the beginning of next week with Kill Team trying to figure out what to do.
Trying to find the target.
All right. Good stuff.
All right.
And I anticipate, at least for the next couple of sessions, this is how it's going to go, because y'all are just going to be traveling for a while. So
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
just so you can be mentally prepared for what you need to do.
Just to be clear, Nibbles, when you say self only, self is in the person holding the amulet, not self as in embers only.
Yeah, whoever's using it, correct.
Cool.
Alrighty, well, I am gonna go nap actually.